Yo guys and girls, it's Rob. I'm actually on the bank now. As you can tell, there's woods and that behind me. I'm just down at my local estate lake, private estate lake. I'm just coming down just for a few hours, see if I can get my first Carp 2018. I've got one rod out at the minute. It's just on a runny rig, about, I don't know, about 30-40 yards out. Just single pop up, I'm not putting any bait out. Just fishing singles. This is the first time I've been fishing since September, where I went to Cromwell and I had 8 runs, no fish in 48 hours, well, a bit more than 48 hours, and I just haven't had time. Our lass has been in hospital, I've been in hospital, work and everything else has just got in the way, so I managed to finally get down since September, finally. So I'm just about to show you what rigs I'm going to be using on my second rod, so I can get it out. And all I'm using on second rod is just a little small PVA bag, well, medium-sized PVA bag. So fingers crossed it'll happen. So I'm going to be using, so I'm actually in Urban Baits now. I'm not in Marico anymore. It just weren't for me. I can't explain why I quit. It's just, they're a good team, it's just that it weren't for me. And I managed to get on Urban Baits, so I'm thankful. So I'm going to be using one rod, I'm going to be using pink nutcracker pop-up. Then on the other one I'm going to be using a yellow nutcracker pop-up. And then obviously on one at rods I'm just going to be using a small PVA bag. So let's hope that it'll actually work. So I'm going to show you the rig I'm going to be using. I've already got them all set up. So on this particular rod, since I'm going to be using a bit of a PVA, I'm going to use basically another Ronnie rig, just with a bit more supple air rig. I mean, so I'm using actually 360 rig on this one. I'm in Sharp tackle as well, so if you need any hooks or like that, get on Sharp tackle. They are really good. So I'm using Sharp tackle. I think it's size 8 crank. I don't know if you can actually see this. Sorry about camera quality. I'm using an iPad, my camera and everything, my phone's it's broke, my screen's shattered on it, so I was waiting for a new phone to come through. So I'm using that. I'm going to put a bit of putter on bottom behind the shanker hook, and that's going to be out, and then I'm just going to thread the PVA bag over hook, just to hopefully cover it up a bit, so when it all bursts it lifts up. So that's the rig I'm going to be using on my left hand rod. I will update you at some point with more bits and probably a bit more tips what I use in my own fishing. So I try not to follow other people's way of fishing and everything else. I just don't see point, because you don't actually exactly learn anything yourself, in my opinion anyway. My first rod I've just had a knock, like literally just now, so it signs that there's fish there, but we have had otters on here. I've just had a bleep, that just made me jump. Go on then, babby. But yeah, anyway, we've had otters on here, but we are going to try and sort it out. Let's just, fingers crossed, hopefully I'll get my first 2018 Carp. So we'll be back to you shortly, guys. Yo, I'm back. I keep getting liners all the time, so I might end up bringing it a bit closer. I'm not sure if it's liners or what, I'm not sure. But there's definitely fishing area. So I just keep getting bleeps all the time on my right hand rod. I've had to change my tactics on my left hand rod, because like a dumpling, I forgot all my fucking lead clips and tail rubbers. So I'm at bottom. I managed to salvage some out of me, an old rig, what were attached to lead core, so I've just took that off. So I've literally, if I get snapped, I'll be using one rod basically. So fingers crossed I don't get snapped. So basically what I do with my fishing, I've been fishing for about, I don't know, probably about nearly 4 years now, I think. Obviously I started like everybody else on float and then on feeder rod and just catching bream, tench, and then once I actually caught my actual first carp, it were about £2, if that, and I absolutely crapped myself. I'm not even going to lie, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I went down with one of my old mates, he taught me everything basically, then I've just learnt myself gradually all the way through, then I got into carp fishing. I've been carp fishing for about 2 years now, maybe even 3, I can't really remember. I just, as everybody else does, you just slowly get your gear and that together and everything else. So then what I mainly do is, when I turn up to a lake, I usually walk around and see if I can see any fish. But on this particular lake, you don't actually have to walk around, you can see the entire lake where I am. So as soon as I see any signs of bubbles or out like that, and if I do need to move, I will move. But at the minute, I'm in the same spots where I usually fish. When I'm on the other side at bank, I usually fish over that side and then I cast over this way. So I'm still fishing at the same spots where I've caught my previous fish before. It's about 30-40 yards out up to near a margin area, but it's about, I don't know, about 20-30 foot away from bank, so it's quite a distance away, but it's where I've caught my fish. And then my other rod, which I'm on bottom bait now, I've had to go on bottom, so I'm using double nutcracker boiler. If that don't work, I'll just go onto a snowman rig or something like that, I don't know yet. But at the minute, I'm just looking, and what I mainly do as well with fishing, like other people usually let around with markers and stuff like that, I don't need to on this particular lake, because it's just silty. There's a bit of debris, but that's why I use pop-ups, like running rigs, chod rigs or like that. But because I were on bottom, I've just shoved a PVA bag straight over hook. So I know lead's going to go into the silt, and then rig's going to be on top. I've got about a 9-inch hook length, just to start, so it actually sits on top when lead goes in. I'm using an ounce lead, so it doesn't go straight in. So that's about, I don't even know how far that is. It's probably about 20 yards out, maybe even 30 yards, I'm not sure. It's not too far. But I'm going to recast that one in a bit, then put it next to a fallen tree to see if there's out around that area. So I think obviously it's this time of year, they're hiding in shoals. So I'm just going to keep casting around trying to find them. I always leave rods in water for at least an hour to an hour and a half. Like my right hand rod, I keep getting knocks and bleeps. So I'm going to fish in the same area, but I'm going to either fish a bit closer to me or a bit further out. I'm not sure yet. But as I was saying about my fishing, I got into it. I struggle at the minute because I don't actually drive. So I have to go with all my mates and everything else, or my mum texts me, as everybody else always does when they're not driving. But when I went to Carp, I've been to Carp in quite a lot of places, and hopefully this year I've got some decent venues to go to, like Royston and a load of other places where I want to go. I'm going to Spain in February, so I'm hoping to get a bit of sea fishing in while I'm there, because where our hotel is, there's beaches on there, so I'm going to see if I can actually fish it, get our young'un fishing it and that, get him in practicing. But it's mine and our lass's 3-year anniversary, so I have to see how that goes. But yeah, I try my best not to like copy other people. Well, don't get me wrong, rigs and everything, everybody uses them anyway, so it's just my style of fishing. I don't spam out loads and loads of bait. Like this time I hardly use any bait, if any, to be honest. That's usually a bit of like pellets in a mesh bag or just a solid bag, and then that's it, I leave it out. On this particular lake, I've noticed that they don't actually properly feed. I've always just used singles. In summer, when I first joined this lake, I actually used running rigs and just scattered a few boilers around it, and that's it, nothing else. And first time I come down, I blanked, but as you always do, like today I might blank, but I'm not bothered. I've managed to get out, clear my head and start my fishing again. But only tips I can give is, if you do blank, don't worry about it. It's part of fishing. It's not an easy sport. Yeah, people say you need to judge fish, you need to find out features and all that lot. Yeah, you do. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's all down to luck. If the fish are hungry and they're in the area and your rig's presented alright, you 50-50 chance you're going to get a bite. Like, for example, somebody could be on the other side and they could be catching fish constantly. Yeah, it's hard, it hurts. So you think, why aren't I catching? Do you know what I mean? But it's the way it is, the fish are in that area and he's catching fish, his rig's presented better. It's not all about the bait. Don't get me wrong, if you've got an high quality bait, it's fair enough. But if you're in the wrong area, you're not going to fucking catch no. And if fish aren't hungry, you're not going to catch no. So what I usually tend to do is try not to put as much bait out and try different colours in baits, like pink, yellow, white, orange, whatever colour you want to use. But then whichever actually one what you get a bite on, swap it, change it to every single rig. See if it works for you. Obviously, if fish aren't in area and they're not hungry, like I've already said before, you're not going to get a bite. It's all down to luck. Everybody else is different. Everyone's got their own style of fishing. Like me, I can't cast very far at all. But I don't fish venues where I need to. I don't fish venues where I need to cast that far for fishing. But once I do start going to them sort of venues, yeah, I'll start practicing more and more and more just to get me sent to that level of actually casting. But at the minute, I'm happy as I am. It's fishing, you enjoy it. It's not about competition or who's famous or whatever else. It's like all Ali Amidi and shouldn't try and think, well, I need to catch biggest fish in lake, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, don't get me wrong. My PB is only £22.12. There's a PB in here. But it's down to luck. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. I'm not really fussed. It's like I've been to Cromwell twice now and blanked twice. But the last time I went, I get 8 runs, but I just getting mauled by that algae, you know, that floating algae. But if you're in great shape of mind, and you're enjoying what you're doing, and you're warm, like this time of year, I've got my tracker suit on and everything else, I've got an hoodie on. It's not exactly cold at the minute, it's about 5 degrees, 6 degrees, but I'm alright. I've got weight on me. But you need to be comfy and enjoying your fishing itself, because at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying it and you're cold, you're miserable, you're just not going to, your thoughts and brain aren't actually going to be focusing on your fishing. Like in a minute, if I don't get a knocker out on my left hand rod and sit next half an hour, I'm going to recast to try and find out where the fish are. If I don't get a bite in next probably 2 hours, I'm going to have a walk around the lakes if I can see any signs. But I know they always end up in a shoal round where I'm fishing. That's where I've caught my fish from. They might be down the other end of the lake for all I know, I don't know. But that's the sport. It's not meant to be easy. Like when people fish these like 100 and odd acre gravel pits and there's like 30 carp in it. You can't expect to cast like your first chuck and you get a fish. Don't get me wrong, if it happens, good on you like, but it ain't going to happen. You've got like, 2% chance that's ever going to happen. Unless you are actually stoking the fish and you can see the fish mauling on bottom and you just lower a rig in. Fair enough. Fair play to you. Last year, I must have blanked for about 6 months straight. I don't care. I were enjoying myself. Wildlife, scenery, away from missus. Even though I love her to bits, but you know what I mean? It's just one of them things, yo. I just don't get people. I really don't. But this is my opinion. Do you know what I mean? If you enjoy your fishing and other people are moaning at you, saying, "Oh, it's not that weight, it's not this weight," just stick middle finger up at them. Just don't lower your standards to them, because that's what they want. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the peace and quiet, and the scenery is what you go to. And take your rubbish away. It's not hard to take rubbish out of your swim and just put it in a bin, or just take it home. Like I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook about people leaving the rubbish all lying around. That's what makes council and other venues stop people fishing on it, because they're destroying the environment in wildlife and everything else. There's no need for it. Just put it in a bag, shove it in a bin, or shove it in your car. That's it. It's not rocket science. It proper winds me up. And I'm sorry I'm going on a rant at a minute, but it's just one of them things what pisses me off. It's like what would you do if someone just swat a bag of rubbish on your garden? You'd go mad. Well, I would anyway. So why would you do it on somebody else's property? A fishing venue where you like to go fishing. You're only going to get yourself barred or banned. It's ridiculous. But anyway, back to fishing. Just do what you're doing. If you need help or tips and tricks, just ask somebody else. Because someone who's been fishing a lot longer than you do. I do. Learn more. When I first started, majority myself off YouTube than just going out there and trying it. At the end of the day, if you're not catching, you're not catching. Like me, I've had about 10 bleeps on my left hand right hand rod while I've been here. But they might be picking rig up and spitting it out. Or they might just be flicking it with the fins online. Because I've got it rate sensitive, because I'm basically locked up. But just enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, right. I'll be back soon. Hopefully with a fish, so I'm just going to sort all my lines and everything else out. So I'll catch you in a bit, boys. Peace. Yo guys, quick update. Nothing at the minute. I've had a little bit of a run, but it just spat it out, I think. So I know there's 100% this fish in this area. It's just getting them, basically. I've had nothing on my left hand rod. But as you can tell, I've got my jacket on now because it's starting to get fucking cold. But I'm happy. I'm warm now. Apart from my hands. My hands are a bit cold like, but you know what I mean. I've just baited up the margin area down to my right hand side. I'm just keeping an eye on it to see if it's actually in margins. Because there's a load of cover, a load of overhanging trees down in that margin, so I'm just keeping an eye out. So I might end up moving in the next half an hour or so. But there's coots, black chickens in area, like in force, diving down, but they're not pestering me, they're just diving down all that lake. So it's either someone's actually been down fishing before and put a load of bait in, I'm not sure. But they're all up top end at lake, so I might end up moving to top end. Well, I'm not sure yet. I'll see how it goes. Do it another half an hour or so and then I'll move, I think. But yeah, not really to talk about. But yeah guys, I'll see you in a bit. Peace. Yo guys, I'm back. Just a quick update. I've not had anything. I've blanked basically. At the minute anyway, I'm at last knock-ins, so literally I've got about half an hour, 40 minutes left before I actually pack up. But I've had loads and loads and loads of knocks on my right hand rod and a couple on my left, but majority on my right hand side. But they're just not doing no. I think it was bream, I think, because bobbing were going up and then down, but right slowly. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I should have pulled into it or what, I don't know, but hey ho, everyone's still learning, so I've got a bit of time left. Fingers crossed. I've just swapped my left hand rod with a snowman rig down into the side, across to like a little bit of an island sort of thing. There's all overgrown trees and bushes and shit. So I've swatted it all there to see if it happens. But I can't see me catching out, but you never know. Last knock-ins and whatnot. I'll probably end up catching one when I put my net away. That's what usually happens. But yeah, been alright. I've enjoyed myself. Thought about things, you know what I mean? Cleared my head a bit. I'll be back down sometime next week, I think. I might even try and do a 48 hour before I go to Spain. See if somebody wants to come down in week. Which I doubt it though, because everyone's working. I've got time off, so you never know. It's quiet, it's dead. The lake is dead. Coots are just diving down all over the place. It's just dead. There's been no signs. I've walked around about 4 times as well, and I have not seen a single sign at all. All water's murky anyway, so because of all rain and snow and everything we've had. Water level's definitely risen, because it's going down into the back bit or there. But what can you do apart from just keep on keeping on? That's all you've got to do, as the famous Leon Bartrop says. But yeah, it's one of them things, like I was saying earlier. It's not all about catching. It's about learning and progressing and enjoying yourself. Yeah, I'm on my own. I've got no one to talk to apart from a camera and my sen light. But I've had a few snacks. Having these horrible things. And just learning. Just keeping an eye on water, watching wildlife. There's a big massive flock of seagulls coming over as I speak. But there's just nothing at all. Nothing. I don't even think I've had a proper pickup, to be fair. It's shit. All wildlife are at top end. I think it's warmer at that top end. So I think all fish are at the top bit. And it's now starting to rain, so I'm going to have to go, people. Peace out, and I'll see you again soon. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Peace.